Good evening, friends. Honorable dignitaries on this digital dais, respected Mrs. Sheila Kakade ma'am, President of AIWC, delegates participating in this webinar, all the respected officials, members, activists, and scholars across the nation who joined this webinar. First of all, I would like to express my deep gratitude towards All India Women's Conference, and particularly I am very thankful to Mrs. Sheila Kakade ma'am who offered this great opportunity for me to be with you today. Let me appreciate her countless efforts and perseverance in organizing this webinar on very crucial topic, on very super temp topic, that is the life and work of Her Highness Maharani Chimnabai Gaikwad, the founder president of AIWC. Actually, it's not easy. It's a very difficult task to discuss on her entire work, and it becomes more challenging when to present in a specific time limit of 20 to 25 minutes. Still, I will try to confine my articulation only on the one aspect of her work, that is her contribution to women's development, women's empowerment and enlightenment through AIWC. Friends, we all are very closely aware about the historical fact of Indian women's subordination, discrimination, suppression, and extreme of exploitation in the caste-based patriarchal society. Consider caste factor, intensity, and proportion of women's suffering had variations on the scale of social stratification, but it is true that the entire womanhood had suffered a lot by the various cruel customs like sati, enforced widowhood in early childhood, in very innocent childhood and youth, tonsures combust by sati, um, suffocations behind the parda, and tremendous control of patriarchy on their bodies and their minds. And all those conditions, they had the root cause of illiteracy of women, because they didn't have any kind of any right of education. In those worst conditions, Indian Renaissance had emerged and played very vital role in improving the women's condition. Various social reformers, right from Rajaram Mohan Rai, Mahatma Phule to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, they had fought a lot for women's right and their liberation. In the colonial period of history, the princely state of Baroda was on the forefront of social reform movement under the great leadership of His Highness Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad. He had supported women's empowerment a lot. Actually, he had taken a lot of efforts to educate his wife Maharani Chimnabai II. Consequently, the Maharani Chimnabai II, previously a very shy girl from a traditional Marathi background family, had emerged, had transformed totally, and developed as an enlightened social reformer, enlightened woman reformer in India. Friends, as a king, Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad had various enormous political affairs and administrational responsibilities, as well as he had worked. He has to pay attention on the various socio-economical reforms of the entire state. But at that time, Maharani Chimnabai had totally concentrated only on one aspect, one field of social reform, that is the women's reform. Her prime concerns were women's education, their economic self-sufficiency, advancement in progression in socio-economic cultural sphere of life. Uh, Cultural sphere of life. Actually, she was a social reformer in contemporary Queens, and a queen amongst the contemporary social reformer. When Margaret Cousins had decided to establish a nationwide uh, common platform for the women's interaction, she and Sarojini Naidu had very initially approached to the Maharani Chimnabai. Uh, why they only approached to Maharani Chimnabai when there were so many princely states in India, there were so many queens in India, but at that time Maharani Sahiba had recognized as a great patron for women's education in India, and that's why they thought that there were no right person than Maharani to preside the first AIWC session. And they approached to Maharani Sahiba and they had the comprehensive discussion on the various problems, on the uh, various necessities, various probable remedies on the women's problem of women's education. Maharani Saiba had offered her moral and economic support to newly established AIWC, and AIWC had wholeheartedly, single-heartedly, and unanimously chosen her as their first president. Maharani Sahiba then the AIWC was just like a newborn baby, and Maharani Sahiba was like an affectionate mother who had holding the baby in her hand. According to Maharani Sahiba, the first session of AIWC, which was held in Ferguson College, Pune in 1927, was the historical event in women's history. She said that it was the revival of Renaissance, and it was the first of its kind that women's right to national expressions. That's why she called that conference the call of action, the conference, the challenge for those who hold women back, and that's why she said that the conference was the victory over the victory of enlightenment and freedom over the darkness and slavery. Friends, just if we take a glance at the at her speech or the objectives she had shared, we must know that the her speech was not relevant only to the year 1927 but also to the 2020, because today till we can't firmly say that the we achieved all the targets, achieved all the objectives of regarding the women's freedom, but struggle for the women's freedom is still continue, and that's why the relevance of Maharani Sahiba's thoughts and work is to relevance to present. It said that the history is the guide of the future. History is the continuous process of interaction between past and present, and it's the unending dialogue between past and present. So, friends, we had to retrospect our work and collect the best from the past to make our future journey more efficient. And that's why, in that sense, the life and work of Maharani Sahiba totally is always a source of inspiration to all of us in generally and AIWC in particularly. Although Maharani Sahiba was the queen of Baroda, she was the daughter of Maharashtra and she had tremendous proud of that. So she, in her speech, she stated the importance of Pune city, because the Pune was the city where revolutionary reformer Mahatma Phule and Savitribai Phule had laid the foundation of women's education. And she also quoted the example of the great mother Rajmata Jizau and the her great son Maharaja Chhatrapati Shivaji. So she appealed the women to that they should follow the courage of Rajmata Jizau. Women should not merely produce a healthy body but also healthy souls. And furthermore, she said that the healthy bodies and healthy minds are possible for all only in the healthy societies. And what is the healthy society? So, healthy society is the society where equality, freedom, fraternity is there, which is from the free from the any kind of discrimination and any kind of gender, caste based discrimination. So she said that the healthy society is very important. And when she was talking about the women's education, she said that the customs of child marriage and parda should eradicate for achieve the goal of women's education. You might be said that that customs were gone now. So what's the relevance to talk about the Maharani Chimnabai's work? So friends, actually nowadays we feminist scholars are talking about, are speaking, are advocating about the very recent trend in feminism, that is the intersectionality trend. Yeah, intersectionality. What is the meaning of intersectionality trend? that says that the women's problem cannot be seen isolated. It should be seen, it should be considered in the caste and class and patriarchal perception of Indian society. So, uh, we find this perception, this intersectionality approach in Maharani Sahiba's AIWC's first speech, and that shows the foresight of the Maharani. She didn't have only intersectionality approach to looking the society, because she said that all the women's problem had emerged from the false perception, from the false views of Indian society to look at the women's status, and her statement was very important in the intersectionality approach. So friends, she had the comparative approach also. Along with Maharaja, she had visited various countries, foreign countries, and various foreign countries, and that's why that widened her perception to the world.